This is CBJ in 30, presented by Telhio Credit Union. Find out more and open an account online at telhio.org. Now here's your host, Bob McElligott.
Blue Jackets with a big win last night at Nationwide Arena, beating the Dallas Stars 3-2, the final score in the game. Welcome to CBJ in 30, presented by Telhio Credit Union. At Telhio Credit Union, they have everything you need, whether it be for you personally, whether it be for your small business. Make sure you check out all the services that they provide to you, whether it's a checking account, a savings account, small business loan, whatever it may be. Their services are so easy to find. You can do it just by going online, and you can do it at telhio.org. Search through all of the different services that they have, all of the different programs that they run. It is all right there at your fingertips. There is also a button for you to just click and get live chat help while it's going on. Or if you don't want to do that, stop by one of their local offices. Telhio Credit Union is open to everyone in central and southwestern Ohio. They're federally insured by NCUA. Well, I am giving you a bonus show here this week because there was no Inside Edge last night. Jody Shelley and I didn't get together for our regular weekly show because the Blue Jackets were playing that game against the Dallas Stars. But I did have a chance to talk with Jody last night, and you'll hear his thoughts on the game in just a minute. But it was a good character win, I thought, for the Blue Jackets last night, the way that they just went about it. You have a Dallas Stars team coming in. They're 1-5-1 at the start of the night. They're in the second game of a road trip. They were shut out in the first game 4-0 in Buffalo. They are early in the season already a desperate team. And you had the Blue Jackets that were coming off a huge win in Carolina on Saturday. And for this team, it's about putting it together night in and night out, doing the right things and the same things night in and night out. And I thought that's really what they did last night. Zach Werenski set the tone when he scored the first goal of the game. Then Alexander Wenberg got the second goal. The Blue Jackets had a 2-0 lead. Dallas was able to slash the lead in half. Cut it in half. That was the word I was looking for. 2-1 was the score. Miro Heiskanen scored a goal, and it was kind of an unfortunate mishap by the Blue Jackets. They had two players collide inside of their own zone. That's what opened it up for the Dallas Stars. That and a delayed penalty opened it up for the Stars to get on the board. But then in the third period, Sonny Milano with an unbelievable highlight reel goal when he put the stick between his legs and goes top shelf on Ben Bishop. That made it a 3-1 game. And it was only a late push and a late scramble by the Dallas Stars that got them their second goal with 4.5 seconds left. But by that time, it was really too little, too late for Dallas, and the Blue Jackets get their second straight win, and they even the record at 3 wins and 3 losses here in this young season. Now they get ready for a back-to-back set in Chicago tomorrow night against the Blackhawks, and then at home on Saturday against the New York Islanders. As I mentioned, I had a chance to catch up with Jody Shelley after the game last night, and here are his thoughts on last night's win.
It was awesome. I mean, another win and another game played the right way by the Columbus Blue Jackets. They practiced all week and actually last week for these situations. Up by a couple goals in the third period against a desperate hockey team. You got to be confident in the way you're playing. But Jonas Korpisalo, to me, was the guy right from the start again who led the way for the confidence of this organization and this team because he made big saves early. There was a lot of pucks at him, a lot of scoring chances, and he shut down a lot of plays from the Dallas Stars himself, and that allowed the Blue Jackets to, not just get their footing. I thought they had their footing early, but it kept them in the game. They had that 2-0 lead. I know it went to 2-1, but the Blue Jackets just stayed with it. I loved the buy-in from a lot of these guys. I loved what Nyquist and how he played the game again, just around the puck, keeping plays alive. But to me, and the Milano goal obviously was a highlight reel. You're going to see that again. Way to go, Sonny. But to me, it was Korpisalo leading the way. That gives you the confidence, and that's 2 in a row, and that's got to be great for him and the way the team feels about this moving forward.
I think that Sonny Milano goal is going to go on the same reel as Matt Calvert hitting the head, score a shorthanded goal to win the game. Rick Nash against the Coyotes. They're all going to be on that one. It's going to live forever.
I'll just tell you this, that Sonny Milano, I think he had 2 shifts in the first period because he took a penalty right away. So that was kind of like, okay, Sonny, you're done. We'll give you another chance. He went out there, and it was a couple turnovers and a couple passes that just weren't right. All right, Sonny, and this is what Sonny does. It's like, okay, Sonny, you know you can't play that way. You've got to, yeah, coach. And then he goes out and does that, and the reaction of the bench, I mean, everyone had the biggest smiles on their faces because they're like, way to go, Sonny. You know what I mean? Like, We knew you could do it. We know you can do it. But he had to be pretty confident to do that shot from that far out with a back checker on him. I mean, I don't know why you would put the puck back behind you to take that shot, but he did it, and it worked.
That's one. If you miss it, it's probably a different message when you get to the bench.
If you miss it, I don't know if you're playing next game, actually, but it's one of those things. I mean, that's the way Sonny is. He's a player that he's got the skill. He's worked hard in the offseason to be a little more explosive. You can tell he wants to be here in the way he plays. But once in a while, he'll make cause a turnover, and you'll be like, Sonny, you can't do that. But when he gets a goal like that, it was just the fans loved it, but I love the reaction of the coaches and the bench because they were just all like, that's Sonny.
Also, Alexander Wenberg had a goal in this game.
Yeah.
He now has 4 points in the first 6 games of the season. When I just talked to him, I asked him how proud he was of that goal because I think he should be. I mean, he went from playing defense, then going in, powering against the guy all the way around behind the net, and then when it's over, it's back on his stick, and he puts it in the net himself. You're
talking about a guy who had 2 goals last year, and a guy that's a key member of this organization, and a guy that can do it. And, him and Bjorkstrand, to me, look like they have a lot of purpose in the way they play the game, a lot of purpose in their strides. They're both smart players. They both can shoot the puck. And for Wenberg to get that shot off, again, another kind of reaction of, okay, that's what we need. And those good things happen. But I think with Wenberg, it started early in the game with defense. I mean, the way he reads plays, anticipates, break plays up, that's kind of the understated part of his game. And we all get excited when he shoots the puck, and even more excited when he scores. So good for him. Good to see him get that, especially with his parents here in the building. It's always a little more special.
And I thought that Bjorkstrand was going to get another goal tonight.
Man, I mean, how many chances did he have? I mean, Ben Bishop must have sore shoulders from the amount of times that Bjorkstrand has hit him. Also, Heiskanen, the defenseman that got in the way on that one pass. Bjorkstrand's got that open net. He thinks he's got a goal, but it hits the defenseman. So those things happen. I mean, it's good to see him around it. I think, that's not just a nice thing to say. When players are looking for goals, at least he's getting chances. That means his timing is right, and he's got the mindset to shoot. A couple more guys need to get that mindset, and one for me is Bemstrom. Another time tonight he's had chances to collect the puck and make plays. He didn't do that. He needs to be more involved in those areas, maybe get a little more comfortable, but I want to see that guy shoot the puck.
Yeah, I think that's the word, comfortable. He just looks a little bit tentative.
Yeah, he's waiting for something bad to happen.
Right, because he hasn't had anything good happen yet, right?
Well,
I mean,
maybe.
You know what I'm saying.
I just think that, things get tighter the more you think about what you want to do. And I know he wants to get shots, but there's not much time and space. So anytime I see him with the puck, if he even thinks pass, he's got to understand you might only get 2 chances to shoot the puck in a game. Make sure as a shooter you shoot that puck any chance you get.
The power play tonight, they didn't get a goal, but they were all around the net. I like the way they moved the puck tonight. They entered the zone a little bit more easily than they have in the last couple of games, but they had the pressure. Not the goal, but they had the pressure.
Yeah, I still am not comfortable, and I don't think Cam is comfortable on that right side. He's a right-handed shot. I think he likes being on the left side. I remember a couple of years ago when Gagne was in the middle, he was the pivot guy. I think Nyquist is that guy in the middle now. He's good, and he can find Atkinson in the shooting position. To me, Atkinson, it takes him too long to gather the puck on the right-hand side and then try to put that shot off. The goaltender's already there. He's a shooter. He can shoot the puck. I think he's got to fight his way and earn his way to get back on that left side and be the offside shooter.
And I was just going to ask you, is there anything he can do to adjust to that? I mean, if he's going to stay on that side, what can he do to get better at that?
I mean, he's got to maybe buy in a little more, be the guy that wants to get the puck on that side, but I think he's much more comfortable at that quick release. I think the goal scorers are. We see Ovechkin on that side. We know what he does with that bullet he's got off that side, but the right-handed shot on the opposite side, it makes them 100% shooters, and there's a couple lefties that could switch with them.
Also, Zach Werenski gets the first goal of this game. He's another guy that's winding up in the right spots right now. And I know you've talked about this before. Year 1 was great. Year 2, shoulder injury. Year 3, didn't do much in the summer because of the shoulder surgery. He looks more like the year 1 guy right now.
Yeah, he does. I think he's confident. I think he's rejuvenated. There's a mindset he plays with defensively. I think he played really well tonight in shutting down a couple plays. But you're right. To see him behind the goal line, keeping pucks in, anticipating plays, and getting those shots off, it's great. I love the celebration. You could tell what it means to score a goal for these guys. And for Zach Werenski, it's a big deal to get a second.
You know Joe Pavelski very well. He's a guy that comes over from the Sharks. He was around that goal crease all night. And, I mean, that's his forte. He knows how to get there. And Korpisalo, I thought he did a really good job handling it.
Yeah, he did. He stayed close to him. Pavelski needs a little space to get the puck up over the pads. Korpisalo didn't let that happen because he played with depth. He played out right on his heels. Pavelski was getting frustrated. He did get his first. He's a guy that will have 20 to 25 goals this year, and he's a guy they need to have more timely scoring, like Seguin, like Ben. But credit the Blue Jackets for keeping those guys off the board.
Well, I mentioned the go-ahead goal for the Blue Jackets. The game-winning goal came off the stick of Sonny Milano. Milano, earlier in the game, had a chance maybe at a breakaway, and the puck bounced on him. There was one time, and it might have been on the same play, when he kind of caught an edge, just didn't get going. So for Sonny Milano, and you heard Jody say that he took the penalty early in the game, that could have been a shorter night for Sonny Milano, but he kept getting opportunities to redeem himself, and he made the most of it. But the goal, I mean, reaching back between the legs and going up under the crossbar on Ben Bishop, all over the highlights last night, already this morning. It is everywhere. It is the talk of the NHL today. So good for Sonny Milano. I took heat earlier this week on Twitter because somebody gave me advanced stats on Sonny Milano. And look, I still don't think that those stats that were being talked about paint the whole picture for Sonny, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Sonny Milano doesn't have a lot of offensive upside. I've always said that. In fact, I have been consistent in saying the same thing John Tortorella says. It is his defensive play and his decision-making that gets him into trouble. When it comes to offense and being able to do things like he did last night, that's Sonny all the way. He can do that, and everybody knows that he can. But it's just a great goal, and it puts the Blue Jackets in position to win the game. After the game, I had a chance to catch up with Sonny and talk about it.
All right, at what point when you get that puck and you're going to the net do you decide that you're going to take the shot you wound up taking between the legs?
Yeah, I just thought it was the best angle to get on net, and I went in. So
they were kind of two guys were converging on you at the time there, right?
Yeah, so I was thinking maybe backhand, but I don't know, through the legs.
Backhand doesn't get you on the highlight shows as much as that one will. You know that, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Earlier you had a chance where you almost got one on a breakaway and it kind of bounced on you, or you tripped at one point, caught an edge a little bit. How happy are you that you got another chance to go in like that?
Yeah, the whole line was been getting a lot of chances, so it's definitely nice for us to get one.
You're playing on what, I mean, technically it's a fourth line, but, I mean, in today's NHL, every line has to be a scoring line. As you said, you guys were getting chances. Now, how nice is it just to contribute and be getting on the score sheet there?
Yeah, it's huge for us. I think we just stuck with it. Didn't get too frustrated, even though we've been getting a lot of chances, so it's definitely nice to get one.
You know, and Jacob Lilia, he's a new guy. He's out there playing. He gets his first NHL point on your goal, too. But Riley Nash is that veteran guy in the middle. How much does he just kind of calm it all down and just set the tone?
For sure. He's so smart out there, offensively and defensively, and kind of leads the way and lets us play our game.
That's Blue Jackets forward Sonny Milano. I forgot to mention, I apologize, the audio quality of these cuts isn't what it normally is. It's just a technical thing. There was some stuff going on in the building last night with the internet, and I just wasn't able to get the stuff the way I normally do, so I apologize for that. But anyway, you get the gist of it. Sonny, very happy about what he was able to do last night. And to me, the other goal, I mean, Sonny's goal is the highlight goal because of the way it was scored. But up until that time, it was Alexander Wenberg's goal that was the talk of the game. And to me, it's very close to Sonny's goal, if you're going to talk about it, because what Wenberg did was an entire shift. He started playing defensively, then he gets into the Dallas zone. He takes the puck around behind the net. He's got the stick in one hand. He's warding off a defender with the other arm to go around behind the net, loses the puck, gets a chance to get it back once again, and then just shoots it by Ben Bishop. I mean, it was a complete shift, absolutely complete shift. I was talking to somebody in the press box in between periods, and I asked about about that goal, and this person in the organization told me that's the best shift I've ever seen him skate. And I agree, 100%. There's no doubt about it. Every element of what Alexander Wenberg can be was in that shift. And you'll hear John Tortorella talk about that in just a minute. But I talked to Alex about it after the game to get his feelings on his play. Oh, and also to see what he thought about Sonny's goal.
Alex, when you go back and look at the goal that you scored, I thought that entire shift was incredible for you, the way you kind of turned it from defense into offense, had to hold a guy off going around behind the net, one hand on the stick, one hand on the defender there. Just, looking back on it, how proud of you are the way that you were able just to play that whole shift that caps off with a goal?
Yeah, I don't know about proud, but like I said, I'm trying to work hard, try to move my feet and keep the D on the outside. And I mean, it's a little bit luck too. I think Savi's having a shot, it comes back to me, and then what happens. But I just try to get into the scoring opportunities, and like I said, I try to shoot more and get rewarded for it.
How much are things working on that line with you and Bjorkstrand, and now with Nick playing on that line? How's it changed the dynamic of it?
No, I mean, we played with each other before, so I feel like we read off each other really good. So right now we're playing good hockey. We create chances, and maybe, we had a lot of opportunities. I feel Bjorky had a lot of shots, and right now, it's just a little bit extra, and then we probably scored a little bit more. But we're staying positive. It's a really good game from us.
That's a good thing that you bring up about the chances, because there were a lot of shots that were blocked in that game. Bishop's a big goalie. He stopped a lot of shots that might have gone in against somebody else, but you guys didn't get frustrated. Is that whole patience thing that Torch has been preaching, is it starting to settle in here 6 games in?
Yeah, you got to stay patient. There's no point in getting frustrated because you're not scoring goals. And this is a tough league. It's a really good team we play against. So you just got to keep patient and keep creating chances. Right now we scored 3 goals, they score 1, so that's enough to win the game.
What's it like to have a front row seat to watch Sonny score that goal that he scored?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. We were saying it before that I don't know if anyone else will try it, but just watch it. It's a hell of a goal, and it's just impressive.
So that's not going through your mind next time you're in that situation?
No, I'll probably dump it in the corner or something. So that's it.
Thanks, Alex.
All is good when you win, right? Alex Wenberg having a little bit of fun after the Blue Jackets win last night over the Dallas Stars. So John Tortorella comes out to talk with the media after the game, and you had to be wondering, what's he going to say about Sonny Milano's goal? And by the way, before I play this, I want to remind you that even though many of you think, and many of you are correct, that John Tortorella gives Sonny Milano a lot of grief, I want to remind you that for John Tortorella, he likes Sonny Milano. He thinks that there is a lot of potential in Sonny Milano beyond the offense, and that's why he gets frustrated, and that's why he'll sit him after making a defensive mistake or after making a turnover when there didn't need to be a turnover. He has been trying to get through Sonny's head for the past couple of years that you don't have to make a play every single time that you have the puck. And even though Sonny made a great play last night to get the goal, there was another time he didn't make a play, and as you'll hear, the head coach was more impressed with that.
It's ridiculous. But you know what? The best play he made, for me, as a coach, we're up 3-1. I think there's probably 5 or 6 minutes left in the game, or 3 or 4 minutes left in the game. He's in the offensive corner, has a puck, looks back out to the point. If he tries to make a play out to that point, it may get picked off and they could be going the other way. What he does is just throws it in behind the net. So to me, it's a great goal. But to me, the best play made tonight for a coach is a smart play when we have a lead. So I don't mean to rain on your parade here as far as the highlight goal. That's a better play for me.
Yeah. You seem to have a lot of fun with it. What was the mood like on the bench? It makes it 3-1, which is the big part.
Yeah, well, everybody's just looking how ridiculous it is.
You look like you almost fell over.
Yeah, it's just, he makes a great move to enter the zone, beats a forward at the blue line, and then there's still 2 checkers coming on him. I was checking the phone right when I get in at the other scores, and it's already on. Well, you guys, it's always on. It's right away on the phone, the highlight goal of Sonny. So, yeah, it's a hell of a goal. It's just a hell of a goal.
Since we're talking about individual efforts, can you just give us your thoughts on Alexander Wenberg's play? I mean, a shot that maybe last year he doesn't take, but he makes the move and takes a shot.
Yeah, Rock and I were just talking about that whole shift kind of puts it into a nutshell for me as far as what we've been asking him to do. Skates out of the corner, gains the middle of the ice. He's just playing. He's playing so much more confident with the puck. As I said to you during camp, you could see that he wasn't interested in any conversations. He had a focus of some of the things he needed to do to be a better player, and he has followed through at the start of this season also, right on through camp.
And I guess that's where I'm going. Is that reflective of improvement in his total game?
Yeah. I mean, he's always been a really good defensive player, Dave, but I just think his legs are moving. He's playing in the areas that I just don't think he played in last year. He didn't skate to those areas in the middle of the ice. He's climbing out of the corners. He's protecting pucks. He has the puck more. And that's really good news for this club up the middle of the ice if he can stay consistent and keep on moving along that way.
Blue Jackets head coach John Tortorella talking about his team's win and more specifically about Sonny Milano and Alexander Wenberg from last night's 3-2 victory over the Dallas Stars. So today the Blue Jackets are traveling to Chicago. They will take on the Blackhawks tomorrow night and then be right back at Nationwide Arena on Saturday to face the New York Islanders. The other games in the league last night, the Carolina Hurricanes are on a West Coast trip. After starting the trip with a win in Los Angeles, they lost last night in San Jose 5-2 to the Sharks. The Edmonton Oilers were a big winner over the Philadelphia Flyers last night. 6-3 was the final in that game. The Toronto Maple Leafs lost in Washington. The Capitals edged them out 4-3. The Anaheim Ducks were a 5-2 winner at home over the Buffalo Sabres last night. And the other game was in Pittsburgh, where the Penguins got an overtime goal to beat the Colorado Avalanche. The final score in that game was 3-2. Don't you find it kind of weird that the Penguins have 4 or 5 guys out of their lineup? And I'm talking about some significant guys, and they're playing better now than they had before. It's just funny how the game works sometimes. Of course, they do have number 87 that is still in the lineup. I'm going to talk about that and much more on this show tomorrow when I will be joined by Eddie Olczyk. He was on that Pittsburgh-Colorado game last night working with the NHL on NBC. He also is the television color analyst for the Chicago Blackhawks. So we'll get an update on the Blackhawks and what's going on there in Chicago. Talk about things that are going on around the league, and just talk about Eddie Olczyk as well, and do it with Eddie Olczyk, because, you know, if you want to get the true story, you just go right to the source, and that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. So this edition is a little bit short today, but all is well, because the Blue Jackets have won back-to-back games. They're sitting at 3-3 as they get set for a back-to-back this weekend in Chicago tomorrow, back at home. First Responders Night, by the way, on Saturday night when the Blue Jackets take on the New York Islanders. And if you're already planning on coming to that game, make sure that you go around the main concourse at Nationwide Arena. There will be different stations set up talking about first responders, the things that they do, all of that kind of stuff. It's going to be very interesting. So come out and check it out, especially if you're bringing kids to the game. I think that's a great opportunity for them to experience a little bit of that in a great and a fun atmosphere, quite frankly. So First Responders Night is on Saturday. If you don't have your tickets yet, you can get them very easily just by going online to BlueJackets.com. I say very easily. Maybe that's not correct, because it's a Saturday night. It's at home. There's no football going on Saturday, so maybe it's not as easy as I'm portraying it to be. So, in other words, get online to BlueJackets.com and get your tickets for First Responders Night on Saturday when the Blue Jackets take on the New York Islanders. That's going to do it for today's edition of CBJ in 30, presented by Tel Ohio Credit Union. Until next time, I'm Bob McElligott saying so long.